Well, Coach, just a tough start. I mean, Kentucky
Yeah.
just went bonkers from three last night. But what was kind of your takeaway, just kind of looking back at last night? I don't know if you had a chance to watch the film or anything, but
Yeah.
just your thoughts on how that one transpired.
Yeah, obviously disappointed. We'll have practice here at 3 o'clock today. I thought our preparation coming out of Christmas break was great. I thought we had a great shoot around. But I also think Georgia Amore, who's an All-American, played like an All-American. The film's going to be really good for us because there's a phase for our offense. I thought we had a great play design starting that first 3 minutes and try to how to attack. They have great length, which they lead the SEC in block shots, and I think they had 10 blocks last night. But the problem was with those threes is we were wanting it so bad that we lost some defensive coverages, all right, which allowed them to get open. And then I thought, which we're going to show our team, we start making a run back, and we wanted it too bad. Jerkin and Naya, all right, I thought took some forced shots, especially when you got a game that Debrisha Poe comes back, all right, in limited minutes, that we could have got easier shots to kind of chip away that lead. And then obviously the whistle didn't go our way. I mean, they shot, 25 free throws that game. So it was just a perfect storm between them making a bunch of shots, slowing down because there was a ton of free throws. But I'm proud of the way the kids fought, and we're going to have to learn from this.
Certainly a tough matchup to start conference play for Medina against those two post players for Kentucky. She struggled at times, obviously, but what do you feel like she can learn and take away from playing against a team like that?
I just think we got to do a better job of making sure we get her touches. We got to play off of her. Again, I think it was a game where I thought Jerk and Naya really tried to put us on our back there. They could feel kind of that first energy because Amore was hitting. It was getting up to 10, getting up to 12, so they were trying to get big baskets. That we've got to learn from that. This game was probably the first time that's happened this year. That there is no 10-point shot. Stay within the sets, let her roll hard, give her the ball. She's as good as anybody to require a double team. Free up the offense. So if anything, we should have got more opportunities for her. I thought Near had a great game, and Kayla. So that's what's going to be today's film session. Even though that they had length, we don't necessarily have to score over that, but we got to play through our post.
Jacob.
What was the message to your team after the game last night, knowing you got another tough matchup coming up soon?
Listen, we talked about it before. It's just a one-game mentality. The SEC is a beast. It doesn't matter. I mean, the defending national champs are coming out of this league. We played last year's defending national champion, obviously coming up this Sunday. The bottom is just good as the top. So we just got to come in, and you got to be able to have a mindset when you're in the SEC. Anytime you go on the road, you got to try to steal one. All right, and then most importantly, when you're at home, you got to protect your home.
Right.
Back to Medina, I'm sure it's probably frustrating for her in foul trouble and not being able to get in a rhythm or whatever. You talked about before just having to teach her some parts of the game and how it's played over here, whether it be 3 seconds in the lane or whatever. How has it been kind of teaching her in those moments, and how has she taken the coaching whenever you've had to kind of walk her through some of these situations a little bit different than what she's used to?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute joy. I mean, first of all, I think that she leads the nation in field goal percentage. All right, think about that's crazy, right? So what a joy to coach a kid that, when she does shoot the ball, it's pretty much going in, right? And then to your next point of the question, sometimes the best experience is learned, right? We can watch it on film. We can go through. This is her first true, I think, road test. No offense to Georgia Tech. But the fan base, it was an awesome atmosphere. It was a different level. There was multiple bigs. So there's no doubt that she's going to be like, okay, I felt that now, and she's only going to grow. All right, so I'm excited for for what's going to come here. And obviously we're going to need a big here Sunday.
Benjamin.
The bright spot for you guys was the turnovers were a season low, and you've talked about that ad nauseum. What do you think of the way you were able to take care of the ball in this one?
Yeah, I think that's what we're in that fine line. Obviously, we were able to control some of those turnovers because what we've talked about in the past, we didn't shoot so quick, right? But then I think that's where the next evolution of our team is understanding is because you had more movement. Now we got to make the right reads. Again, someone like Debrisha Poe who came back. Who's one of the best three-point shooters in the country to only get 3 shots. All right, I thought when we watched that film, we did a poor job of driving where her man was collapsing, and we didn't make the right reads. So we limited the turnovers, and now we got to learn. We got to limit the right shot selection. All right, too many forced shots, which allowed them either one to block shots or then two to get out and transition. To your question, Robbie, earlier, that led into some dagger transition threes. So that's what's going to be in film today.
Jacob.
Not too sure how much film you've got to watch of them yet, but what are your initial impressions of South Carolina?
Yeah, I haven't. We've been focused all in on Kentucky. We'll start that. That's why I pushed practice back today. Here's the thing with Dawn, I can't say enough things about them. Like I've said before, they are the standard, they're the bar. Obviously they're the defending national champions. But going in my third year, what's impressive about them is in year one, I was able to junk it up. All right, they didn't have the shooters. I felt like she's always had the strength, but not the shooters. All right, in year one, they didn't have that. Year two, they obviously did, and then you look at year three, she's just absolutely loaded. I mean, 1 through 15, they've got depth, but that's where I'm urging our fan base, just like we had this game last year against the defending national champions. Right? There's no better feeling than when you come off the road than to come home. All right, so I'm urging our fans to come out and support like no other. It's going to be an absolute dogfight, but we're going to give it our best.
Robbie.
You haven't really had, a lot of situations like this where you've had this kind of adversity with this team,
Yeah.
where you come off a loss, and you did have the Georgia Tech game and they rebounded from that. But knowing these players and kind of knowing their tendencies, and what's your expectations of how they handle practice today and the next couple of days?
Oh man, I definitely know they're going to bounce back because it started for me at Christmas. Again, I'm a big practice guy. I thought our practices were great. I thought our shoot around, I'm dead serious. I mean, if you would ask me before that game, hey, what do you think the outcome of the game? I was like, man, I like our chances. They were dialed in. So I know my team. They're disappointed. They want to win. All right? So they're going to watch some things that were glaring. We got to have a come to Jesus meeting in certain areas, I call them. I got to look in the mirror and like, you know what? That hurt my team in that game. Now, is that behaviors they've shown all year? No. But they got to understand when certain things occur, especially when the ball doesn't go in, we got to be tough on the defensive end. And that's what today's film session is going to be, is we're going to need a hard look of why some of those things occurred like it did. And then you better clean it up really quick because you got the defending national champs come here Sunday.
We saw Jerk and Denham were both on the injury report the night before the game. They were taken off on game day, but they're all good. What's been going on?
Yeah. No, just shout out to my medical staff, right? Obviously, that's a new report the SEC does. They've been banged up and bruised, Poe especially, right? So for her to come back, I think she played less than 20 minutes, right? You could see maybe a little fatigue when you watch the film. She obviously didn't play before Christmas, had Christmas break. We were slowly trying to see where she was at. Medical staff felt she was great, so we got her in there. Just the bangs and the bruises behind the scenes.
Any other questions? All right.
Everybody good?